So, if you're following my Chronicles of George series, you know that the setting is a funeral home, and these people are actual people who work. So, one of the deceased that had to be picked up yesterday, as Miss Sassy says, was a story within a story. And she came in yesterday and gave me more details. I told y'all yesterday that I was going to update you if Miss Sassy updated me with some information. But for the people who did not watch that video, you can go back to it. But this is what happened with the B plot. This guy I picked up is probably going to be a story within a story. It involves a black man who has expired relatively young, multiple baby mamas who are beefing, and his family doesn't like any of them. And of course, there's an enabling mother who thinks her baby boy was an innocent victim. For context, it was one of the baby mamas who called our funeral home and pretended to be a biological family member and said they would be using another home service and canceled the appointment to meet up and discuss costs and options. Then she made arrangements at another funeral home, claiming to be his wife. They were going to pick him up, but when it came time to sign off as next of kin at the hospital, she obviously couldn't prove she was his wife or next of kin. Just a whole mess. And so he is kind of yikes. Just saying. But we have been told by the family that only his mom has the authority to make decisions, which makes it way easier for us for now. His aunt said that he's got at least 5 crazy baby mamas and they all hate each other. So this is what Miss Sassy knew 2 days ago. Let's get the update. So, in regards to the story within a story, the newly expired is a 43-year-old black man. I spoke to another family member of his. He actually has 8 baby mamas and 9 children. The last 3 are all little. So he took a break, for lack of better words, then started having more children when his oldest kids were teenagers. Most of his family, especially his mother, don't acknowledge the last 3 because those were the only ones who were never confirmed to be his through doing DNA testing. But deep down, they all know the kids are his. He passed accidentally, automobile or road rage accident. This is where the story gets messy because this seems like a man who lived a very messy life. He had met a young, new woman, young in her 20s. He lied about his age. He told her he was in his 30s with no kids. She found out the truth. He apparently had strong feelings for the young lady, but she told him he was too old and had too many kids, and he lied. She starts dating a man her own age. They all get into a confrontation at a CVS parking lot. The lady and her new man drove off. He chased them in his car. There was traffic. He tried to pass them on the left and probably cut them off and recklessly drove head on into oncoming traffic. He was the only one who didn't survive the multi-car collision. Some of his family blames the young lady who refused to date him. That's where we are. We're still blaming other people for the consequences of this man's actions. That's where we are. Just shift the blame. They really asked the cops why she wasn't being charged with anything. Plus, she never stopped. When he crashed, she kept driving. The crazy family and 8 baby mamas, this should be an interesting funeral. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. I asked if it made the news. Y'all know I'm nosy. Miss Sassy says, I heard the accident was on a small snippet of the local cable news, the Spectrum local news, specific to the area. Customers have Spectrum, but not the specifics. Just a man losing his life driving erratically and road raging. The funeral is soon. The immediate family wants an open casket. We only have a small amount of time to still have an open casket. We lost 3 days with the baby mama pretending to be the wife and trying to get him picked up by another funeral home. He's embalmed. He's embalmed. Thankfully, things are coming together on our end. The family is messy as hell. I know we're probably going to need security for this funeral. That rarely happens. It's barely a thing, but these people are nuts. Talk about consequences of your own actions. For this man, He 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 lived and he died by the consequences of his own actions. And I keep saying these people are in their find out season, and we have got to stop trying to rescue them from their karma, from their behaviors, from their decision making. This man was reckless with his sperm. He left kids here, there, and everywhere. He left kids here, there, and everywhere with women who were contentious. And the family is calling all of these women crazy baby mamas. Could it be your family member's picker was wrong? Probably not, because we don't hold these people accountable for their decision making, but the universe held him accountable, and now he's gone. And thankfully no other motorists were harmed. I mean, I don't know if they were harmed, but they didn't expire. And then to try to make it like this woman, the 20-year-old, is at fault in any way when he lied. All of the actions that led up to his expiring were because of him and his lies and his reckless lifestyle up until this point. This is what gets me about some of these people. They believe that they can behave in any kind of way. They can behave in any kind of way, and that women are just going to still want them. They have deluded themselves for so long that they actually believe the things that they are saying. And then you have this red pill community, this manosphere community, these podcast bros that go on these podcasts and speak like 40 some odd year old men are, they are in high demand. Like 20 some odd year old women really want these people. The 20-year-olds that I'm seeing and reading about and making videos do not want someone that is significantly older. Now, I admit I am in my 40s. I used to be in my 20s though. And I can tell you from experience that when I was in my 20s, I wasn't checking for nobody that was my daddy's age. It just wasn't happening. And no women that I know are looking for that humongous age gap, especially with this current crop of dudes who have been reckless with their sperm, reckless with their health, drinks way too much, eats like crap, and are expiring before they hit 56. Even if this wasn't a health demise, they are taking each other out, and or they're being reckless with their bodies like this man did. These people are not pouring into relationships, as in having broken families all over the place. They're not pouring into their health. They're not taking care. They're not good stewards of their finances, yet they believe delusionally that they are in high, people just want them in high demand. But I just wanted to bring you that. If Miss Sassy comes in and updates me about this funeral, I will update y'all. But for right now, go ahead, jump in the comments. This has been messy. Y'all like, comment, share.